Session 8 is all about how to make a successful offer on a home. Let's get it in. All the specific forms and all the different disclosures and such you need to fill out for state, county, city, whatever it is, that is something we won't go into in this session, but it's definitely something your real estate agent will know about how to do it. So consult the real estate agent for all those different forms you need to fill out and all that fun stuff. So after you fill out all those different forms and such, you're going to submit your offer. And one of three things are going to happen. The seller is either going to accept the offer, they are going to decline it, or they're going to counteroffer. Accepting the offer means immediately you will start the closing process. If they reject it, that's it. You can either create a new offer or you can move on. The third one is the counteroffer, which either they're going to counteroffer for a different price or take away some contingencies. And some of these contingencies could be repairs that they were going to make, but since you're offering them lower amount of money, maybe those are going to be taken out. So those three things are going to happen. If you receive a counteroffer, you then have two choices. One, accept the counteroffer and then you begin the closing process, or you are able to counteroffer again, and the whole process can go back and forth a few times until you guys become to some type of agreement. Now your realtor is going to be able to advise you and figure out what an appropriate amount should be you offer. The reality is they're going to do a comparative market analysis, or a CMA, on homes in the similar area, zip code, beds, bath, year built, square footage, that whole bit. So bring up some comps or comparable homes. And the obvious thing here is not to see what houses sell for, but how much they not how much they list for, but to see how much they sell for. That is everything. How much is the house worth? How much you can sell it for, not how much you can list it for. That means absolutely nothing sometimes. Another consideration is how many days or weeks has the house been on the market. If it's been on the market for 3 days and they've received multiple offers, they're probably not going to budge on the price yet. Now, if something's been on the market for 2 months, 3 months, longer perhaps, the seller is probably more motivated to move on the price, or the price is just simply too high for the home. There are times where you may consider offering more than the asking price. And the reasons are: the property you're looking at is in a desirable area, either the location or it's something super desirable at the moment. Secondly, there's multiple offers on the table. If you're one of many, you gotta offer more. It's a fact. Thirdly, if the seller isn't motivated, for some reason they have lots of time or don't need to sell the property, it's not contingent upon them buying their next home. If they're not motivated, they're less likely to take the asking price, but will certainly be more willing to consider a higher price. Now, there are a couple reasons why you would also offer less than the asking price. If your offer doesn't have any contingencies, like needing to sell your existing home, or you're willing to buy the property as is, that's when you have a little bit more leverage. And if the sellers are motivated to get rid of the property as soon as possible, they need to relocate quickly, they need to sell it fast, you then have more leverage on submitting a price that's lower than what they expect. And those are two significant ways. If they're motivated though, you have the upper hand and the leverage. And the easiest way to do this is to talk with the selling agent, figure out the motivation and such, and asking some pointed questions to them. You know, the answer is always no until you ask. Well, the answer here is you never know until you ask. So it's always good to ask pointed questions on what the sellers are actually doing to really see what's going on. Sometimes people want to sell their homes to people they like. Believe it or not, it's all not always money driven. A lot of times it is, especially if it's an investor or someone who owns multiple properties. But if you're buying it from a family or an individual, they want to usually know that their home is going to someone that's going to take care of it. Just like having a super old hot rod, an old classic car. When that guy sells it to the next person, they want to know that it's going to be taken care of. In a similar fashion, there's lots of emotional and sentimental attachment to homes. So if you can do your best to show that you are going to be the best carer, the one who's going to take care of the home most. A lot of times sellers really like that, and that can make your offer stand out. Also, bring it to their attention that you're willing to work around their timetable. Just be very pleasant. Again, going back to a few sessions back when we talked about having a pleasant real estate agent, this is where they can shine, because they can sell your story to the selling agent, who then in turn sells the story to the seller. So that's super important if you have someone who's able to convince and have persuasion techniques, and just be truthful and genuine in your storytelling that you truly are going to be the best candidate to buy this home. It's not always money driven. And lastly, having a larger down payment always helps. Always helps, and it makes the seller see that you're far more easily going to be approved for the loan. Go back a couple sessions, you'll see how to get pre-approved for a loan, which is something you definitely want to do. But just having a larger down payment helps in every single aspect. There's never something, I would never see a downside of having a larger down payment. It definitely helps in having a little more leverage in submitting your offer as well. That's the end of session 8. Session 9, we're going to talk about how to apply for a mortgage and find immense success on getting the correct mortgage for your specific situation. So session 9, stay tuned, hop on it. Session 8, all done. Session 9, be prepared. See you guys soon. Enjoy the rest of your day.